So today I'm going to be testing, reviewing, and doing an all-day wear test on the brand new MAC Strobe Dewy Skin Tint. Now this just recently released and I couldn't wait to test it out on our mature skin. So in case you're interested, then keep on watching. Hey guys, it's Kat and welcome to my channel. You guys, I'm so excited to do a foundation review. This is actually a dewy skin tint from MAC. It's loaded with all sorts of skin-loving ingredients to hydrate, like hyaluronic acid, squalane, shea butter. So I thought it would be fun to do an all-day wear test to see how it would wear on my 57-year-old skin. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so I have nothing on my complexion, just my normal skincare routine for the morning. And some of you had asked, what is my normal skincare routine for the morning? Super quick, first step after washing my face, I like to use the Dermatology Needleless Serum. This is always in my possession. I'm constantly purchasing this. It just plumps up the skin, hydrates it. It's not sticky whatsoever. I just love applying it to a freshly washed face so it absorbs into my complexion. And once that's absorbed, I like to just go in with a simple daily moisturizer. And I've actually been loving the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion. Yeah, remember we used to use this years ago? I got this actually free when I went to the cosmetics company store, and I thought, heck, it's free because I purchased a lot of Clinique, and I love revisiting this moisturizer. It is not bad. It's doing the trick, especially for my normal to dry complexion. And then to finish it off, my SPF, which is also another dermatology product. It is their Daydream Broad Spectrum Sunscreen SPF 40. This is probably my third jar of it, and I'm definitely going to order some more because I think right now for the weekend, they have a BOGO. So if you buy one, you get the second tub 50% off. So I'm definitely going to take advantage of that. That is basically my skincare routine. Now, hair is pulled back. I'm ready to apply my primer, and I'm just going to go in today with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Universal Tint. This is a beautiful mattifying primer that just really smooths out the complexion. It has that ingredient Upsolite, and since it's going to be a really hot summer day here, I really want a primer that's going to not absorb my oils but kind of keep them at bay. This is not drying whatsoever. It just really smooths everything out so it'll lay a nice canvas for this dewy skin tint. So while this is absorbing into my complexion, let's read up on the MAC Strobe Dewy Skin Tint. According to the Ulta website, the MAC Strobe Dewy Skin Tint is a sheer illuminating tinted moisturizer with light bending effects that's infused with hyaluronic acid, shea butter, squalane, and vitamin E. Now it comes in 16 flexible shades, and it retails for $38, and you get 1 fluid ounce. I know that is super pricey, especially for a tinted moisturizer. The disappointing thing is that it doesn't contain any sort of SPF. So it's supposed to deliver a dose of dewy pigmented coverage, helps shield skin from blue light and pollution, comfortable gel balm formula spiked with skincare ingredients. I have recently gotten a tan, so it's been fun for me to try to pick out different shades, especially now that I have a deeper skin tone. So I picked up the shade Medium 2, which is a medium beige with neutral peach undertones. Now the reviews on the Ulta website are all up and down. Some people have complained it's too shiny. Some people have said it makes their face appear greasy. And if we tend to get a little shiny, we can just finish it off with a little bit of translucent powder. But this is what she looks like. No frills, as you can see. I don't know if you're supposed to shake it up. Let's see exactly what the shade looks like. And you can apply it with your fingertips. You can actually also wear it under your foundation for that lit from within complexion. So I want to try it out as a skin tint. I think skin tints are beautiful, especially on mature skin. But as you can see, it's kind of a thicker consistency. And if you look super closely, you can see it has, glitter is not the word I'm looking for, almost like a shimmer to it. And it really reminds me of the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint. This is a gorgeous product. And as you can see in the bottle, it has that luminosity. And I'm just gonna go right into the center of my face. Now, I did test this out yesterday. You know I'm going to be testing it out for you guys before I give you my final opinion and thoughts. And be sure to stay till the end to get my final thoughts. But yes, I've been testing this out behind the scenes. This feels like a moisturizer because it is a tinted moisturizer. However, it is very reminiscent of the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint. And you know I love that skin tint from Maybelline. It is so affordable and so beautiful, and it has the same light bending effect. But I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it through here. You can apply it with your fingertips. You can use a brush to blend it in. I'm just using a light little layer. I don't know, I can't really tell much of a difference, so I'm gonna go ahead and bump my lights down so you can see. Anybody home? Oh, it's almost shimmery where, yeah, it kind of looks oily and greasy. And I have normal to dry skin, and we put that mattifying primer down so we can kind of avoid that. It's definitely glowy, but not in the right places. It looks like it's kind of accentuating my pores. Not a good look so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply it to the other side. Not a lot of coverage, but with a tinted moisturizer, you're not gonna get medium coverage. You're gonna get something that's gonna smooth out your complexion, make it look even, and hopefully bounce the light. Boy, it's bouncing all right. Wow, okay. As far as a flexible shade, I think this is working well with my darker skin tone, but look how shiny my face is. Strobe, like in strobe light, hello, super bright. And you know what, just for fun, I'm gonna apply a little bit more so we can get a little bit more coverage, just a hair, just to make it worth it, right? Oh gosh, this is so, oh my gosh, you can probably see me from here to Kentucky. My face is glowing. They say you can use a brush, so I'm just basically gonna stipple it in. And I'm still shiny, okay. Pretty dang dewy. Okay, let's go ahead and bump up the lights. Not a lot of coverage, as you can see, but don't worry, we're gonna be going out in natural daylight. We're gonna do some check-ins, and I wanted to do a comparison of the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint next to this. This is the MAC, okay? This feels very greasy. Definitely has a thicker consistency. Now, with the Maybelline Skin Tint, right off the bat, the Maybelline has a much thinner consistency, and it's not the same shade, but this feels so light in consistency, so thin, and it blends out almost immediately. Do you see? Look how shiny the strobe from MAC is. And then look, this still has that luminosity, which I love, but look at the comparison. Strobe, Maybelline Skin Tint. But let's go ahead with concealer. And since this is such a sheer skin tint, I'm gonna go in with my color corrector from Dermatology in the shade Tan. This is the Luminous Eye Corrector SPF 41. This is one of my all-time favorite color correctors, and it also has an SPF. Since I'll be running around today, running some errands, I thought this would be great to just color correct under the eye. It's got such a thin consistency, and I just like to tap it in. And since I have veins, discoloration on my eyelids, I like to tap a little bit on there so we can color correct that area as well. But this looks good so far. Okay, very sheer, very natural makeup look. Well, it's supposed to be, besides my beaming, glowy skin. I mean, it's almost to the point where I look like a mermaid, like, and not in a good way, like shiny scales of a fish. That's what I feel like that's going on predominantly in this area right through here. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of concealer, and I'm going in with the Shea Slip Tint Concealer. This has been my go-to this summer. Just a tiny bit right through there and where I tend to get red. And we're just gonna go ahead and quickly blend that in. Concealer is on. Now I want to apply a little bit of bronzer and some blush, and I'm going to go in with the brand new NYX Butter Melt Bronzer, and this is in the shade Deserve Butter. But I did do a review of their new Buttermelt blushes, and in case you missed that, I will put it down in the description box below. That was a tough blush to work with, super pigmented and kind of fussy to work with. So I'm praying that this bronzer will be somewhat easier to work with and not as pigmented. The first thing I noticed with this Buttermelt bronzer, as soon as you open it up, super cute, right? Is the smell. I know that they were supposed to be somewhat scented, but this is super strong. It's kind of like, you know, suntan oil, Hawaiian Tropic suntan oil, kind of gives me those vibes. That's the first thing I noticed straight off the bat opening this up. And it is a very silky, beautiful formula. And let's swatch it. I love the shade. Hopefully it'll mesh well on my complexion. I'm gonna go ahead and take a very fluffy bronzer brush, and I just recently did a video on changing up my entire makeup technique in applying bronzer and blush. It has really been a game changer, so now I'm going to be applying my bronzer that particular way. And so I'm going to take it on a oopsie, I'm going to tap off the excess, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go straight across the top of my cheeks, like where the sun's going to hit your face naturally. Ooh, okay. Hopefully this is, oh, y'all, you guys, this smells so strong. And I'm just gonna go right across the top of my cheeks, right where the sun would naturally hit it. So I have that sun-kissed look. And in my case, sunburned, no. And then just right across the top of my forehead. I'm hoping this bronzer will take away the shininess. I mean, we all wanna look glowy and dewy, but not greasy. And this is, so far, super greasy or shiny. Take your pick. Oh yeah, I like this bronzer. Ooh, I'm super bronzy. Yeah, I definitely love this method. Now for blush, I was gonna use a liquid blush, but since this is so dewy and still feels kind of tacky to the touch, I'm gonna go in with a powder blush. And in this case, I'm going in with the Benefit Cosmetics wonderful blush in the shade Pom Pom. This is such a beautiful blush that really smooths the complexion. It doesn't add any texture, and it's a matte formula. So I just wanna take a tiny bit on my blush brush, tap off the excess, and I'm gonna hit the apples of my cheeks and right through there. And again, this is a method, a technique that I've really been enjoying in applying my makeup. And I'm trying not to go below my nose just to see if I can really accentuate the fullness and plumpness of my cheeks. But this is looking really pretty. See how plump and juicy my cheeks look? Complexion looks good. It still feels tacky to the touch. Kind of makes me nervous, but what I want to do next is I want to go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup and then set this with a translucent powder. Okay. Eyes and lips are on. I just did a very simple eyeshadow look with the Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes. This is such a beautiful, underrated eyeshadow palette. I love the color story. It has a beautiful mix of cool tones and warm tones, and I just used the center row of the pinks. I used Warm Rose as well as Petal, and that's the only two shades that I used. I want the focus to be the complexion. And then for lips, I went in with the e.l.f. Cream Lip Glide, and then to top it off, the Dior Lip Glow Oil in Pink Lilac. I just wanted a nice natural lip with a hint of pink, and I think the Pink Lilac really brought that out. So now let's set this complexion. It's been a few minutes and it still feels tacky to the touch, almost, oh, I don't know. It's very disconcerting, I must say. But let's go ahead and set the under eye area as well as the T-zone. And I'm just going in with the Natasha Denona High Glam Pressed Powder. I've been really loving this pressed powder. It's also a foundation, but I like to set my under eye area. It just really smooths everything out and blurs everything. That's why I love it. I don't want to get rid of the glow, but I want to make sure it doesn't slide off my face during this hot summer day. And I'm just going through the T-zone. And I read on some of the reviews that some people were actually using their pressed powder to take some of that glow away because it was so glowy to the point of almost appearing greasy. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a hint from them. All right, so let's go ahead and turn down the lights and see how this is looking. Okay, it is definitely still glowy even after putting on a pressed powder to set everything. And here we are with the final look. And I have to tell you, even though it's a tinted moisturizer, a skin tint, it feels kind of heavy on my complexion and it shouldn't. So we're gonna go ahead in Natural Daylight to see exactly what this looks like. It's offering sheer to light coverage. You saw how much we had to build it up. And maybe I was a little bit heavy-handed, but you know what? If you want to get some sort of coverage, you're going to have to apply more than you think, like super sheer to light coverage. So if that's your cup of tea, you're going to love this. But if you're like me and you want a little bit more coverage, you're going to have to definitely build it up. But so far, it still feels a little bit tacky to the touch. Okay, so it's 88 degrees out and the humidity has gone down. So it's only 43%, as you can see. So this will be a good day to test it out. Not too humid. So we're good. Okay, so it's currently 11:34. I got a kind of a late start to the day, but I do have a bunch of errands to run. We're gonna go out in Natural Daylight and see how this Strobe Dewy Skin Tint from MAC fares throughout the day. But yeah. Okay, it is exactly 2:30 p.m. It's been 3 hours since I first applied the Dewy Skin Tint from MAC, and I've been running around like crazy today all over town. Oh, that rhymed. And I have to say, I was very self-conscious, not about how it looks, but how it feels. Like I can feel it still there. It's still tacky to the touch, even though I powdered it down. So yeah, it is super hot, 93 degrees out. It looks good, but still right through here, you can still see a lot of the texture that I have. I mean, we all have texture, but for some reason, this particular dewy skin tint kind of exacerbates it. You can really see it, so I don't know. And we are back. It is 7:30. It's been 8 hours since I first applied the new MAC Strobe Dewy Skin Tint. And I have to tell you, it still feels tacky to the touch. I had to pull my hair back today because it kept sticking to like this portion of my face and it just drove me bananas. I don't know what it is, and I may have to pull it back so you can see what we're dealing with. It has an 8-hour wear time, and that's exactly what we did. I do have to say it has broken up around my nose area. You know how oil separates from a salad dressing? Kind of that sort of imagery. But it looks and feels like that. It just separated around my nose, on my chin, despite setting it with a setting powder, and it just does not look good. And it's separating really bad through here. And let me turn down my lights so you can see. See how it's really separating through there? Still very shiny, still very greasy, but this is 8 hours. Yeah, and look at my forehead right through here. You can see it definitely separating right up through here. Like if I just do that, it's a really greasy mess. But yeah, so I'm ready to give you my final thoughts on the MAC Strobe Dewy Skin Tint. I don't like it. It really just separates on the complexion. It's really not attractive right through here. And honestly, my face feels like a grease pit. I'm gonna have to say no on the MAC Strobe Dewy Skin Tint. If you're looking for a skin tint that's affordable, that's beautiful, that looks great on mature skin, I highly recommend the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint. Really evens out the skin tone at a fraction of the cost. So instead of this, get this those are my thoughts on the MAC Strobe Dewy Skin Tint. Oh God, I can't wait to wash my face. And it's very rare where I'm testing out a foundation or a skin tint where I feel like, oh, I just gotta wash my face. It's one of those feelings that I really don't like. And yeah, I just can't recommend this to you. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you had fun. I know I did. And if you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing. I would love it if you'd be a part of our family. But for now, mahal kita. I love you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.